Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles who taught me this truth. This is Counsel Dawad, the real brother beloved, and this is only for the elect.
Only for the elect.
These are the reasons why I am pleased to announce that Mr. Mark Carney, who is presently the Governor of the Bank of England and a remarkable pioneer in pushing the financial sector to act on climate, has accepted to be my special envoy on climate action and climate finance from the 1st of January 2020.
Bank of England Governor Mark Carney will lead a push by the United Nations to make the finance sector take proper account of the risks posed by climate change, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said on Sunday. Guterres said the Canadian, due to leave the bank on January 31st, was a remarkable pioneer in pushing the financial sector to work on climate.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled unto the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
The earth on a whole is in a bad shape, polluted and overrun by greed. Those in power and the financially oppressed alike are in a dire state because of the total disregard for the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and the corrupting of Yahweh's living water, His word. Natural disasters and the manipulation of the earth's natural ordinances have both played a part. But it is the deeds of the few that have corrupted the many. Not an overgrown global citizenship, but an out-of-hand affection to do opposite of what is commanded of the Lord by the 1% that has the entire world off balance.
PFOA is short for perfluorooctanoic acid, also called C8, a synthetic chemical compound that is used, along with PTFE, to manufacture certain fluoropolymer and telemer-based consumer products, including non-stick pan coatings like Teflon. The DuPont family, French-descended American, ruling elite banking family, whose fortune was founded on explosive powders, textiles, and who diversified later into other areas of manufacturing as maker of the plastic material, Teflon. Teflon was, until 2013, produced with perfluorooctanoic acid. Studies have found that PFOA exposure is linked with several diseases. Leaked internal company documents reveal that DuPont knew about the dangers of PFOA as far back as 1961 and knew in 1984 that the chemical was present in the local water supply and being emitted in dust from the factory chimneys, yet did not disclose this to workers or the surrounding public. According to a 2004 study, the plant dumped and emitted over 1.7 million pounds of PFOA between 1951 and 2003.
Besides the fear of jeopardizing their capital gain, and the threat of litigation, and being held financially liable, why do you suppose this induced health risk was kept a secret?
Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
A day after the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change alleged the oceans would rise 3 feet by the end of the century and parts of the world would be permanently flooded, another study showed that the world's wheat crops face significant damage due to drought. Wheat, according to the research data, shows 20% of all calories consumed by humans worldwide, and
it is global climate change that will have an unprecedented negative effect on the ability to grow wheat.
Other than the risk of hunger and the threat of malnutrition the potential drought has on wheat, a reduction in supply would cause a spike in the world food prices and make areas where people cannot easily afford food or afford it at all more subject to what the U.S. Department of Agriculture defines as food insecurity, a household-level economic and social condition of limited or uncertain access to adequate food. Put another way, people would not have access to food because of either cost or availability. The threat of famine, being the absence of food, as well as the refusal to accept the truth, and the forthcoming plagues of the earth have all been prophesied. Despite the effect of food shortage, ensuing pestilence, and the false doctrines being propagated by the wicked, the truth itself will remain, stand firm, and go unscathed. That being said, the ordinances set by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah has long been taken for granted. The elite are well aware of the Most High's laws regarding the sowing of agriculture, the gathering of produce, and allowing the land to rest, but disregard it for economic gain. This speaks to the rise and spread of genetically modified foods. But what does that say considering the sustainability of life?
Scientists in India have successfully completed clinical trials for a male contraceptive, the first alternative to sterilization via a vasectomy. The drug is injected into men's groin area under local anesthesia and is theorized to last for 13 years, after which it is thought to lose its potency. Male contraceptives have made it to clinical trials several times in US and UK markets, but have either failed or been abandoned due to side effects, similar to those experienced by women while on birth control, deeming the effort too intolerable for men to consider or pursue.
This is indicative of Esau's inclination to induce sterilization, prescribe abortion as a contraceptive, and sanction mercy killings or euthanasia instead of letting the natural order of things take its course. The world was given to Esau by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah for his pleasure, so these things must play out, but his rulership is swiftly coming to an end.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Those who enslave the children of Yasharallah continue to enslave them and seek to enslave the future populace, be it by the handing out of harsh sentences, those working for minimum wage, and attempting to keep up with the cost of living, the paying off of student loans or credit card debt, that too is considered enslavement, and those responsible will too be enslaved. This pertains to the generations of Esau Edom who are alive and not so well on this earth today, those who are the beneficiaries of subjugation of native land and vast financial wealth secured from the proceeds of the transatlantic slave trade.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
There is no landmass or nation of people that Esau Edom has not conquered or subdued by violence. You reap what you sow. So we as the children of promise must not take matters into our own hands, but remain patient and wait on the Most High power.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, native Indians, and those of the nation of Israel that are scattered across the globe that receive and accept this truth, is the beginning of it that followeth.
The world was built for Yasharallah, so when Esau is set back into his rightful estate and placed in captivity, we won't have to worry about an overpopulated metropolis, pollution, the viability of food sources, nor the affordability of anything. Upon the return of Yahweh Shah and the establishment of his kingdom, the population of the enemy will rightfully be reduced. I'll close with this scripture.
And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.